Okay. So tell me, so you're with ASAP. You
Yes.
got my name from Amanda, I
Yes.
believe. Okay. And so are you a teacher like in the classroom
Yes.
and you would personally coach a team?
Yes.
Okay. How old are your kiddos in your classroom?
So I teach first through sixth grade science.
First through sixth grade science. Okay.
Ye-
Are you do you have to offer to all grade levels, or are you able to say, and the reason I ask is because we have different kinds of FLL.
Right.
So there's three different levels. And so to reach all the grades that you teach, we would have to pull from several programs. So what's your intent? Who is it that
I'm
you're
thinking
wanting
like
to reach?
the older
Okay.
grades
Okay.
for to only do this.
Okay. So that level that you're talking about for you would be your students in fourth, fifth, and sixth grade.
Okay.
And it's called FLL Challenge is
Okay.
the specific part. So FLL is broken into three levels. And as we talk here, I'll be posting some links in the chat
Okay.
because I think that works really well. And for anyone who is then on the looking at this recording,
Great.
they can get to those links. So let me go like this. Okay. And I was just doing that this morning with someone else. So here's what we'll do. We'll first inspires.org. Here it is. That was strange. Control C. And let me go to chat. Okay, Control V, enter. Okay. So this is the first, I don't know where to put it on this screen here. You do it this way. Okay, so the firstinspires.org is the overall website for anything to do with FIRST. Do you
Okay.
know what FIRST is?
No.
No. Okay, so we're going to start right from the start. So
Yeah.
FIRST is an acronym and it stands for the F is for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. So anytime we talk about FIRST, it's all uppercase letters because it's an acronym. So it was started in about 1989 by a gentleman by the name of Dean Kamen. He is I describe him as an inventor. He has over 500 patents to his name. His most famous invention is the Segway, you know,
Okay.
the thing that you lean and it moves
Oh,
forward
wow.
and backwards. Um, he's also known for his insulin pumps and many, many other things. But one of the things he did in 1989 when he saw that students in the United States were falling behind with math and science is he created this nonprofit called FIRST, and it has since evolved to be international in, oh gosh, I don't even know what the latest count is, but over 100 countries. And there's thousands upon thousands of students who do this all over the world. It started with older high school students and has then evolved to include what we are going to talk about today, which is Lego. So he has a collaboration with the company to
Okay.
do for the younger kiddos from kindergarten all the way to eighth grade, where they work with Legos. So
Oh,
the Lego itself, the FLL portion of the program, is itself broken into three sections. So there's FLL Discover, which is the pre-K to first grade. Then there's FLL Explore, which is from grades 2 to 4. And then you have FLL Challenge, which is what you are going to be interested in, which is for grades 4 to 8. You yourself will be teaching 4 to 6, but students could do FLL Challenge all the way to the 8th grade.
right. I have an eighth grade at my school, so
Mm,
possibly we could open it up,
and do it that way.
to students like for an after school club.
Okay. So let me especially since we're recording, let me do it this way. I think this will work. Do you see
Yes, I see your
a
screen.
whole bunch of kids dancing? Okay.
Yeah.
So where we are now is on that website, firstinspires.org. If you just hover over this programs here, it will expand to show the first three drop-down menus. Here's First Lego League, which is what we're going to talk about today. And just purely for information, just so you know, the next level is called First Tech Challenge, and that's for students in 7th to 12th grade. And then the other division is First Robotics Competition, and that one is for high school students only.
Got it.
And the robots get bigger and more complex as you go, but a student could do First Robotics from kindergarten all the way to when they graduate in college. So if we click on First Lego League, then that pops us into this program right here. I'll just page down a little bit. There's a few little videos that are interesting, but here's what we just talked about. So here's FLL Discover pre-K first grade. Those are the big Duplo blocks, and it's either at home or in kindergarten. I help people reach out to that, but there's no type of judging, or there's no competition, there's no festival, there's nothing like that. It's entirely done at home. And so my involvement in Discover is virtually zero. I facilitate when necessary. The other two sections, however, FLL Explore for grades 2 to 4 and FLL Challenge, grades 4 to 8, I am heavily involved in. So Explore is teams of about 6. They work with a kit that comes from Lego called, it says right there, Spike Essential. And we can get into that a little bit if you want to.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely am interested in what I would need to purchase to do this.
Okay. And then the next one then is First Lego League Challenge, which is grades 4 to 8. In the US, you see how here it says grades 9 to 16 with a little star next to it? In the US and Canada, the age limit is 14. And the reason for that is because the students in the US and Canada have relatively broad access to the next two levels, the FTC and FRC. Versus outside the US and Canada, it's a little bit more difficult to get FTC and FRC. And so for that reason, they allow students in other countries to continue with Lego until they're a little bit older. But for our purposes here, when a student is in the 8th grade, they're done. And that's typically 14.
Yes.
They can have a birthday, a 15th birthday that's close to the event. That's okay. But okay, so that's how that works. So the next thing I wanted to say is that each year, so let me stop sharing for now. We'll go back to this. So each year, all 3 of these programs, FLL, FTC, FRC, have a common theme that goes across all programs, and it changes every single year. In the past, we've done things like space. We had one called hydrodynamics one year. We've done senior citizens, any topic you can think of. Goes across. All the challenges are built around this theme. And the general idea is to expose students to the type of work that people who work in those industries, the type of work that they do. And the idea is that as students go through this year after year after year, they get exposed to more and more and more things. And it's just slowly planting seeds of potential careers, things they could study when they go to college, or maybe it's something that they want to do, go to a community college, or whatever it may be, right? There's no right and wrong answer, but it's to expose them to things that they may not have thought of as something that interests them. This year, it is called First in Show is the name of the theme, and it's about art. So it's about taking STEM and going to STEAM and adding that A of art in that acronym. So everything is around this theme. And so every section then has its subtitle, and ours in FLL this year is called Masterpiece. So almost everything you'll see that I show you that has to do with this year is Masterpiece. But just know that next year it's going to be a different topic. Masterpiece will go away and it'll be something completely different. Who knows? We've done 1 year was garbage, trash. 1 year was animals. Who knows, right? It's really, really cool stuff. Okay, so let's focus on challenge for now and explain that challenge has basically 3 parts to the challenge. One is a table that they have with pieces and so on. They build a robot. The robot goes on the table and tries to do challenges. And I'll show you some examples in a minute. But that's the robot design portion of it. They build, they design, they program. They have a 2.5-minute limit where they go and their robots are doing their thing. And that's one portion of it. The other portion of it is something called the Innovation Project, which goes to the heart of what Dean Came In is all about, which is the students are asked to invent something, solve a problem that is somehow tied to the annual theme. And then the third thing is something that every single student in first, and not just students, but teachers, parents, coaches, everybody has to do, which is called around this idea of core values, where the students are judged on their team building and collaboration, impact, fun. So everything to do with just making sure that we're all working together in a collaborative environment. This is not BattleBots at all. As a matter of fact, it is highly discouraging, and at the higher level in high school, the students can get penalty points and even get disqualified if they do attack other robots on the field. So it's a big no-no. Okay. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
So do they bring their creations to the competitions, or are they doing the things at the competition?
Nope. They have months to prepare for this.
Okay.
So let's talk timeline. So the timeline for FLL Challenge, August 1st, give or take. August 1st is when the challenge is released.
Okay.
Beginning of December is when we start having qualifying events. So this year we have 3 weekends in Arizona where we have 11 qualifying tournaments. Tucson, Yuma, Flagstaff, Thatcher, and then the Greater Phoenix area. We have 11 tournaments that are going to be happening December 2nd, December 9th, and December 16th. That is because we have over 200, I think we're up to 243 teams now for FLL Challenge in Arizona. And those teams are, those teams are going to be competing for 60 spots at the state tournament. And the state tournament is January 13th here at ASU in Tempe.
Okay.
Okay. So in that August 1st to December timeframe, the students are building their table, designing, building, and programming their robot, and working on their innovation project. In December, they then come to an event where there are referees and there are judges, and they will compete against other teams. They can win awards. We have medals and trophies and a big award ceremony and so on. And then some of the teams will then advance to the state tournament, and then we have a big event on January 13th. On January 13th, we will then have at least one team will be selected to represent Arizona at the World Championship, which is in Houston, Texas, in mid-April, which is this year, what is the latest count? They've increased it. It's almost 200 teams will be there.
Wow.
And we're talking, last year I judged Romania, Greece, Japan, Costa Rica, and then a few American, one Canadian team, and I think I had 3 US-based teams. It is truly world. And FLL has one section of it, but another section of the building is FTC and another section of it is FRC. There's between 30 and 40,000 people that show up to this event.
Wow.
Huge. It's huge. So just know that there is a long, room for the kids to take this as far as they want. It's entirely up to them. There's room for them to grow and learn, which is why we spread the program over several years, is because in the beginning, the kids may just be programming the robot to go forward, turn, just telling it to travel a certain distance, for example, versus in later years, then they will be using sensors and they'll be using the walls of the table and they'll be using very, very sophisticated methods for their robot to figure out where it is on the table so it can maneuver. The good thing for you as an adult is that you just learn along with them. You don't need to know anything. And then we have a whole community where we do coaches workshops and I do office hours every couple of weeks. You can get in touch with other coaches who can help you. There's all kinds of resources online, almost overwhelming. But there's lots and lots and lots and lots of help, and we sort of walk you through the process step by step, so you're not too overwhelmed. So you just take it step by step. You'll get there. Okay. What I think I would like to do now, let me see if I can go and find you. I don't have my own yet, but let's do it this way. YouTube FLL Masterpiece. Well, let me do one more thing first. So I'm going to share again. We'll just go back to where we were. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, so let's go programs and we're going to go FLL, and there's resource library is just a great place you're going to want to go eventually. But let me go to this game and season. So this is everything to do with Masterpiece. There's all kinds of interesting, videos and resources and just crazy amount of information. But what I want to show you is let me make sure it's this one before no, this is, hang on. All shapes and sizes, and skip over this. This where they go through the whole. So it shows you a little bit. Okay, let's not do this one. I think it's, okay, that's Kim talking. There's a video that shows let's do it differently. If I go, do you see this, how I changed screens?
Yes.
Okay, good. So YouTube, FLL Masterpiece, here it is, robot game. There we go. This is what I want you to see. And I'll give you the link, Control C. It's a long video. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but Control V.
This is the Masterpiece competition field.
Okay. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So this is an 8x4 table, and it has a little wall that goes around it. This mat that you see in the middle here is the annual mat that you will get as part of your registration. And then as part of that, and you'll see here, we'll go forward in the video, but you'll see that you'll also get a whole bunch of Legos, and then you'll get building instructions, and each team builds its own set of mission pieces that go on the table. So every FLL team has to have one of these tables. I have a few that wood made out of wood, which is the typical setup that people have. I have some of them that I'm able and willing to donate because I have too many of them. And then I have a first alumni group here of ASU students that have just in the last few weeks built me foam tables, and the teams are really liking them. They're still big, they're still 8x4, but they weigh nothing.
Nice.
So that's another option that we have. So just know that you're going to need to have a place to put one of these. You will receive from first this mat, which is 7 feet long. So you can tell that it's slightly shorter than the table for a reason, because at either end of the table is where the students store their equipment. So let me go. Actually, I'll just let her talk. Can you hear her when she's talking?
Mission field. There are 15 missions which can be done in any order. You do not have to complete all the missions. Just try as many as you can in each 2.5-minute robot match. Only the score from your best match will be counted.
Okay, so she basically goes through and explains the rules. So what I want you to see, let's look at this one. Oh my, hang on. All right, so this is one of the mission pieces that you would build. You see how it kind of looks like a dragon?
Yes.
Okay, so this comes to you in a little bag and a bunch of pieces, and you get building instructions. I can show you the building instructions, but basically you hand that to the students and you say, build it. And they follow the instructions, and then these are attached to the mat using this sort of, it's sort of like Velcro, but it's called dual lock, and it attaches to the table. And then this whole video, here's another one here, right? And things move. And so the idea is the kids will then build a robot that will interact with these pieces, and with every one of these, there's points tied to it. So I put the link to this YouTube video. I put that in the chat, so you can go see what it is that the kids are trying to do this year. So this one's this is an interesting one. This one, it's
Mission 11.
The light show, right? Because it has to do with
Trigger the
art.
light show on the tower by raising the handles. If the light show's white pointer is within zone, yellow, blue, green.
So in this video, they're showing a person raising it, right? But in the competition, no human is allowed past the end. The robot has to do this. So the robot has to make it, all built out of Legos, has to make its way to this thing. It can use the lines on the table to figure out where to position itself, and then it has to have some kind of a mechanism to raise this thing. Okay. That's the sort of robot game. And so what I was going to see is if any of the teams out in the world have posted their robot. Is this Mr. Hilo? Let me see if this is Mr. Oof. No, this isn't what I want. Because you can get, or I can just show you one from last year. I don't think people have posted yet. 550 points. Hang on. This may be one. This is from a past year. Well, yeah. All right. So this team somehow managed to do maximum points, apparently. Let's go see what this looks like. I haven't seen this.
Mhm.
So this is their robot and all their attachments that has to fit in that area to get maximum points. Off it goes.
That almost looks like an Edison robot, but it's not. It's a Lego robot.
It's a Lego robot. So this over here, this is the new one. It's called the Spike Prime. If you have an EV3, that's perfectly fine. Do you have any pieces at your school?
No.
No, nothing. Okay. So if you're starting from brand new, this is what you'll get. This is the brain. This rectangle here is the hub. And then it comes in the box just by itself. And then you get a whole bunch of these pieces that you can then use to build your own robot. Now, please understand that what you're seeing here is a team that would probably win a trophy at Worlds. This is extremely advanced. The fact that they have a robot that can do everything on that table. There's a handful of teams that can do that in the world. Most teams do 2, 4, 5 missions. You know, the really good ones in Arizona will probably do 10 or 11 of the missions. But the point isn't to do, it is not necessary, nor is it expected to do this. This is just to show you what it looks like, what you're going to be aiming for. And what they're doing here, they're using gyro sensors, light sensors. I don't even know if they have touch sensors, but that's how they're detecting where they are on the table. It's pre-built and it's pre-programmed. So the students spent hours working on this. But what they learn is not only how to build and program, but they accidentally also learn perseverance and teamwork and collaboration and how to deal with frustration, because it does get frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. Now, is it one robot per team, or is there multiple robots involved?
Most teams have one robot because this kit, there's a basic kit and then you can add an expansion kit. If you get the whole thing, is about $600. They're expensive.
Okay.
So most teams, and a team in FLL Challenge is 2 to 10 people, students, will typically have one. Some teams have more than one, but those are, you know, there are teams that usually have been around for a while and have had the resources to accumulate that many, but most teams only have one.
So with that $600 pack, they can do like pretty significant things with it, even though
They can do
other
everything.
teams might have like expansion packs.
Yeah. So if you order through First will send you both. They'll send you one box that's the basic kit, and then you get a second box that's the expansion kit, and the expansion kit has more Lego pieces in there, and I think it's got a couple of extra sensors. But it will give you everything you need to build that robot in any configuration you can possibly think of. If a lack of Legos is a challenge for you, these cabinets here, whoops, it's not what I wanted to do. Oh my mouse is lagging. So you see these cabinets back there?
Yeah.
It's full of Legos. So if anybody ever tells me their problem is a lack of Legos, it's not a problem. We can get you more Legos. That's not a problem.
So they build onto their sensors, onto their robots. They can build things, and like the amount of pieces don't matter.
The size matters. Like when they were setting up at the beginning, this team, what they were doing by having everything piled up in the corner, that sort of quarter circle, was to show the referees that their robot and all their attachments fit in there. And you get extra points if you can do that. But the weight doesn't matter. Every single part of that robot, however, must be Lego. Even if you use rubber bands, they must be Lego rubber bands.
Got it.
Everything has to be Legos. So Yeah. So you'll get things like engineering notebooks to help the kids. You get information about how to run your meetings. And like I said, we help you, and we have a whole community. I just started a Slack channel where we're getting people to join in. ASU approved me for a Slack channel that has external people joining in so that people have a place to go and just go, robot's not moving, or we're having trouble programming something, right? So there's a community of people to help you, basically. Okay. So we don't run out of time. That's the robot part of it, which is one piece. So then the other thing, let me see, I'll go back here and I will.
And you have to use like a program, correct? On Chromebooks to program?
Correct. So Lego has two options for you to program that robot. You have a scratch based, and if you want, do I have it on my laptop? I think I do. It looks weird because, hang on, I got to take you out of full screen because and it's called Spike. Is it under Lego? I don't think I have it on this laptop. So it's called Lego Spike software. It's completely free. You just download it. Let me see if it'll let me put it on my laptop, because 3.4 Windows did it download. Let's see what happens. The other option that you have using the exact same software is to program in Python, which is advanced programming. That, as a matter of fact, one of the professors here who teaches intro to programming to engineering students here at ASU, he's got all my Lego kits right now because he's going to get the college students to build a Lego robot, but they're going to program in Python because it is a very advanced language. Again, there's a lot of room for these kids to learn. They can start with the scratch-based programming, and if they outgrow that, great. We're going to program in Python this year, and they can learn Python. And then they show up in college.
That mean it's more advanced? Like they can do more advanced things in that?
Oh yeah, this is industry level programming.
Okay.
Like that's what college students are doing, and then they can show up in college having done Python programming, and so they're ahead of other students. Yeah. It's downloading right now, so I'm going to see if it'll let me. ASU doesn't like us to install our own software. Let's see. Oh. I think I'm installing. All right, well, let it install, and then if it works, oh, here it is. Now it's just giving me the error. Yeah. Interrupted. Yeah, I can't do it. Okay, I'm going to ask my IT guy to put that on my laptop. Okay, so yes, they program scratch-based, just like, drag from the left onto their little area where the different colored blocks, and I can find you. There's just tons and tons of videos that you can use to basically program. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, here's one right here. Hang on. These ads drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I'll share it with you in a minute here.
Storms, and just moves and you can actually create.
So where am I? I'm not sure what this guy is programming, but you see how you have your little scratch-based kind of
Yes.
things like on the left, and you just drag things over, and this is how you connect to the robot over here. And see how this one says move forward for 1 rotation, move straight for 1 rotation. And each one of these is editable. So then the student can drag it across, and then they can say, instead of my robot going straight, I actually want my robot to turn this way or turn that way. And I only want it to go for 1.3 rotations, let's say, so that it gets to the exact point on the table where they want it to go. So this is how they program. And then again, they can go, let's see if I can get you some information. I don't know if you've ever programmed in Python, but
No.
you know, this is something where this is, let's see if I have a screenshot of it, but it's the, you know, curly Q, bracket, set your variables kind of thing, right? Like it's super. So this is called, this is actually, do you see this Python programming lessons?
Yeah.
So this is called Prime Lessons. This is a famous website for people who want to program their robot in Python. But look at this whole curriculum that you've got here that you can then blow up like this. And then I'm just picking one at random, right? It talks about how to configure your code, what your robot can look like, right? This tells you what to attach to each of the ports so that you are attaching the sensors and the motors in exactly the same way that they are doing it in their code. So that way you are talking to the right piece of equipment with the code. But look here how they are doing set motor rotation amount unit equals blah, blah, blah. Like they are doing, this is really advanced. This is really advanced coding. And this whole curriculum here is just built to really teach the kids how to do this on their own.
So do you recommend for students that don't have a lot of programming experience to start with Spike?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Start with Spike, start with the Scratch based, and you may never outgrow that. It may be plenty for your students.
Yeah.
But if you get those students, and I used to have them that would say, I can program anything. And I'd be like, okay, let's move on. We're going to go. It was C++ in those days, but in this case, I would say, here's Python. Program it in Python now.
Okay.
And they learn to document their code. And I mean, they need to learn industry standard programming practices. It's really cool.
So probably the students that like move on to state, they're the ones doing the Python, you think?
No,
Okay.
no, they're doing Scratch, the Scratch-based programming. When I judged at Worlds last year, we did have a handful of the European teams, because they're now 15, 16 years old, used Python. But when you look at the robot on the table, you have no idea.
Okay.
You have no idea what kind of software they're using.
Okay.
The difference is more in the skills that the students acquire. That Python is something that's transferable to other applications.
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong with Scratch, and they can do everything in Scratch. It's
Great.
not
Perfect.
yeah, it's not a problem at all. Okay. Then the other part of it is that the students need to do what's called an innovation project. So every year, based on the theme, they will be given a problem to solve. This year, because it's art, it's an interesting project this year. And the question, so to speak, is about how you can use art in a hobby that you have to increase interest or engagement. So the example I give is soccer. Soccer is a very popular activity for students in this age range. And the question is, let your imagination go wild. What could you do using art as a way to make soccer sort of a different type of an activity? So, for example, what if you have LEDs inside of your soccer ball that are visible on the exterior, and that every time you kick the ball, it changes colors. What if it when you know how they kick the ball, I'm not a soccer player, but when they kick the ball up in the air, 1, 2, 3, 4, it counts for you. It has a display maybe so that every time you kick it, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, they're just these interesting things. What if it's something else, right? Maybe it's pylons on the field that when you cross the pylons, or maybe it's the goal itself that has LEDs around it, and when the ball crosses, it flashes different colors. So the idea is to get the kids to take a hobby or an area of interest that's in their life today and apply art to it in just a very interesting, different, innovative way. It's to force them to think innovatively, doing something that nobody else has done.
Yes.
It's very interesting. They are asked to then go through a simplified version of the engineering process as they think through what they're going to do. We love for them to build a prototype, can be made out of cardboard. A lot of people build their prototypes out of Legos because they have lots of Legos available. But they bring something to the competition to say, here is what we decided that is the problem that we're trying to solve. We want to increase engagement in soccer, and here's the idea that we came up with to make it more interesting. And then they tell the judges about it.
So they have to explain their idea to the judges.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah. So we have the judging sessions about 30 minutes, and there's I can go back here. Here, I'll walk you through it so you can see how I do it. I want to go to share. So I'm back on the first Lego League here. Programs, first Lego League. Whoops. I will go to the resource library. I will go to first Lego League Challenge. And I'm going to go to, I think it's called season. Whoops. So everything you need for this season is here, basically, including like this robot that we just looked at. All the rules are here, the score sheet.
Okay.
You have team meeting guide, engineering notebooks for the students. So it's like a PDF that you can download and that you can look at as a way to help. It helps the students basically manage their meetings. So it's just beautifully done and colorful and fun and very engaging. So innovation projects. So let's look at that, right? How we share our own hobbies and interests with others can be an expression of our creative selves. People who work in the arts can teach us a lot about how to communicate, how to engage, and how to entertain an audience of any size. So that's the innovation project. And then we've got robot design, different team roles, talks about core values, right? And then it gives you some ideas, some space for the kids to write down their thoughts and ideas as they work their way through their meetings through the season. So that's just one of the resources that you have available to you. This is where are you? Mission. Here they are. View. So I'll just pull up bag 1. My gosh, big file. So this is the dragon, right? It's in bag 1.
Okay.
And here are the building instructions, step by step. So you're going to need four black pegs, and here's where they go. Step 4, you're going to need 2 of these white pieces that are 11 long. Here's where they go, and so on. And so the kids just page their way through this and build and build and build. And by the end, they end up with, ta-da, their dragon.
Awesome.
So, so when you show up at a competition, there's a 30-minute judging session, which is what I think it's under judging. Yep, there it is. Okay, I'm going to share that with you. Let's see here. So this is what a judging session looks like. First 2 minutes, the team introduces themselves. So they walk in. They can just say hello, or they can have a song. Some people have a song and dance. Some of them are rehearsed. Then they have 5 minutes to tell us about their innovation project. We do not interrupt them during that 5 minutes. Then we have 5 minutes to ask them questions.
Okay.
They go straight into robot design. So then they'll put the project aside. They'll grab their robot, bring it up to the judges. Then they have 5 minutes to tell us about their robot. Again, no interruptions. Stages.
Now, if you have a team of 10,
yeah,
are they all coming up there?
Yep. Yep. And I have
Okay.
lots of tips and tricks to help you spread the talking between all of them. But yes, up to 10 students will come into the judging session, and you will always have at least 2 judges in the room. Can be up to 4, but you'll have at least 2, so that never, ever, ever should the students be in a room alone with one adult. That's against the rules.
So then if there's one robot and there's 10 students on a team,
Mhm.
Do they ever feel like more people are doing more work than others and they're not sharing the load, or
So
like,
10 is hard.
you know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you
Okay.
mean. It's a very, very good question. 10 students is hard. I coached 6 was my perfect number. When I had 6 kids on the team, I thought it was great. And I liked it because they can work individually. You can have 2 teams of 3, you can have 3 teams of 2, and then
Okay.
of course 6. So I just liked it. It was just a good number to break up. 10 is a lot of students, especially if you only have one Lego base to work off of. But what you do is it's just like running your classroom, right? So you'll have some of them working on the project, and then your project, not only do you have to solve the problem, but then you have to figure out how you're going to present it. So most kids have some kind of a skit. Some of them have a song. You'll have posters, you'll have costumes, right? It's an engaging, fun, creative presentation. So then
Okay.
your creative types, you can say, okay, you guys need to figure out who's going to write the script, what kind of costumes are we going to have, right? Are we going to have posters? And so you can have kids working on that while others are building and programming. And then the same
Okay.
thing when you present your robot, right? You'll take let's say your poster board for your project, you'll put that off to the side. Then they'll grab the other one and they'll put it in front of the judges. And now they'll say, okay, now we're going to talk about robots. And then they tell us about their robot.
Got it.
And typically, no matter the size of the team, it starts at one end and one student will say one thing because the 5 minutes is theirs. They can do what they want. And then it'll just goes down the line, and they'll all talk a little bit about it. Then when we ask questions is when it gets interesting, right? Because then it's who's going to answer the question, because they have no idea where the judges are going to go with their questions. And that's when it gets really, really interesting. And I have lots of tips that I can share with you on that. And then, so they do robot design, then we ask questions for 5 minutes. Then there's 3 minutes of core values, which is where we'll ask them questions like, tell us about a challenge you had this season. How did you solve it? How did you get along with your students? Can you tell me what gracious professionalism is? What does that mean to you? And we ask them these sort of general questions, and then we give them some feedback at the end. And so that adds up to 30 minutes that they spend with us. It's a long judging session.
It is.
It is. It is. We used to break it up, and we've gone to a full 30 minutes now. The good news is it's super engaging. And I've not really had students kind of, drop off sleeping because it's so engaging. There's so much going on, but they're
Mhm.
tired after. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so
Like
that's
they already
judging.
right.
Yeah.
But in the judging, they're showing you the programming of the robots as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. We will want to see the journey. We will say, why did you pick this design? Well, could be we got a recommendation from another team. We found the building instructions online. We just built it. We had no idea what we were doing. We just built it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no right and wrong answer. Okay. Why did you go with this attachment? Did this attachment work the first time? Well, no. Okay. What went wrong? Tell us how you solved that problem, right? Did your program work the first time? No. Really? What did you do to solve the problem? That's what we care about. You see where we're going with this?
Yeah.
The robot is just the hook. What we're really trying to do when between us adults is teach them the process of solving a
Yeah.
problem and
Nice.
dealing with frustrations in order to produce something. And no matter what they come to us with, we celebrate them always.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, this sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. All
too.
three of my kids have gone through years and years and years of it. So yes, I'm a big fan.
Wow. So then question for you, what is the difference then between the league right below this, the grades 2 through 4? Do they go to competitions as well? Or is there no competition?
So there's no qualifying competition. Everyone who does FLL Explore automatically comes to what we call a festival. At the festival level, they get a kit. There's building instructions they have to follow. There's fewer, there's only 3, maybe 4 that they have to build. There's no robot that's moving, although they have moving parts. So they'll have, for example, a windmill, right?
Yeah.
So they'll program a windmill or something like that. Some of them have sometimes we'll have a little car that's moving or something like that. They can get pretty creative, but they have to create a poster and they have to tell us about how they built their particular, it's called a review, but they all come, every single team gets to talk to a team of reviewers. And it's just like a mini part of what FLL Challenge is about. I can give you, I don't know if they have.
Are there a lot of schools that do that league or not as many probably, I would
Not as
assume?
many, but I have 30 something teams in Arizona this year, which is pretty good.
See, I do a lot of that in my class, like the Lego engineering challenges without the programming. We do a lot of that. I have these like amazing kits. They're like, I don't think they're exactly Lego, but it's the similar pieces where they have to like engineer a drawbridge or, engineer a ramp in a car. It's pretty neat.
That would dovetail very, very well with this program for sure. Yeah.
Okay. But it's only grades 2 through 4.
2 to 4. Yeah.
Okay.
We could squeeze in, we're not too worried about the younger age, generally speaking. So you could put a first grader in there. We're very strict about the upper age, just for fairness, right?
Yeah.
Just to give you an example, at the state tournament last year, we had a team of 3rd graders, which officially are not supposed to be FLL Challenge.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be FLL Explore, but the coach called me and said, listen, these kids are so advanced. I want to put them in FLL Challenge. And I said, okay. They got to survive a 30-minute judging session. So that's up to you to, but they came and they could barely look over the table. And it's so cute. And the judge advisor came and asked me and said, are we allowed to do this? And I'm like, are they behaving? And she said, yeah. And I go, great. And we're not so worried about the younger age. We're just trying to inspire these kids.
Okay.
So if
And in
that's
that
if
2 to
you
4
feel you
range.
have, if you have first graders that you think might want to do explore, I don't have an issue with that at all.
Okay. No, I think that 2 through 4 would probably be like a good range. You said they could possibly, like, there is like trophies and medals for them as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're ordering them right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
High
And
would
they
do.
still have to order the kits and have the table. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes. So if this is something you decide that you want to go, so let's talk a little bit about timing and talk about budget, right?
Okay.
So for FLL Challenge, like I said, it started on August 1st. Like if you were to start now, you're kind of you're not too late, but it's late in the game because
Yeah.
we would have to get you registered and order your equipment and get it to you and get you a table. And by the time you get going, it's
Right.
almost time for the
Yeah.
qualifiers to be going on.
Sure.
So I would make you can still do it if you want to, but a couple of suggestions would be this, right? Per team starting out the first year, it's about $1,000 because you have to buy that $600 kit.
Yeah.
Once you buy that $600 kit, you reuse that every year.
Okay.
What is the annual cost is the registration for with first, which is a $250 plus tax, basically. So it comes out to
Okay.
about $262. And then you have to buy that mat with the pieces on top, which is a little over $100 for that. So when you add
Okay.
all that up is how you end up to $1,000 for
Okay.
your first year. The little kiddos, the FLL Explorer, is quite a bit cheaper. It's $125 to get that team registered. They get their pieces that they have to build is included in that. So you don't have that additional $100. So it's $125 plus tax and shipping. And then your kit, which is called the Spike Essential Kit, is about $400.
Okay.
So FLL Explorer team is, let's call it a little above 500 to get a team like that going. But again, that $400 kit is what you reuse year after year.
Right.
And all the pieces that you're putting on the table as part of the annual kit, you're going to tear that apart at the end of the season, and that goes in your Lego collection. So every year, your Lego collection grows and grows and grows and grows and grows because you get to keep all that.
Okay, I see. And we can use any pieces, like if people want to donate Legos, we can use them as long as they're actually Lego.
Yep. Yep.
Because some pieces look Lego, but they're not Lego.
Yeah.
So.
No, and it all, per the rules, it all has to be Lego pieces. Yeah.
Yes. And then there's still programming in the younger grades, or you said they're not?
Yes, they do program. They program and they do have movement, not as involved of movement, but they do have movement on their little table that they produce.
And
I don't know.
you Scratch to do that?
Yes, it's the same software. When you go into the Spike software, you actually tell the software if you're explore or challenge.
Oh, I see.
You go, so it's the same piece of software.
Okay, that's really good to know. Since I teach all grades 1st through 6th, I think this might be a good starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, those students that are younger can like build up.
That's it.
And go into that to the further challenges. But
and I'll mention one more option, and I think you have to go now, but I just wanted to mention one more thing. That First also has what they call Class Pack, which is an official curriculum in the classroom. It does not, I can help you make those connections, but that's purely educational. If one of those teams wanted to compete, that would be an additional thing that we'd have to do. But if you decide that rather than run it as a after school program, if you wanted to put it in the classroom, depending on the size of your classroom, it'll be several $1,000s so that you have lots and lots of these in your classroom. But that is a possibility. It comes with a fully developed curriculum developed by educators, and they also have the option for professional development. It's not cheap,
I think
but it's available.
I teach so many classes. I probably wouldn't be able to do that, but it would be 10 kids again per one robot, right?
Well, no,
See,
if
I
you
just
do it
think
in the
so many-
classroom, if you do it in the classroom, it's up to you. You can do 2 to 4 kids, 2 to 4 students per kit. It's up to you. But it would be fewer. At that point, it's more, think of it more as a curriculum rather than an annual competition like what we do on the FLL side. It's
Okay.
more a Lego curriculum that is pretty much divested from FLL, but many teams will have the class curriculum part of Lego in the classroom and then will then use that to compete in FLL. And so you're
Okay.
just because you have the curriculum in the classroom, you still have to register as a competing team if that's what you choose to do.
Okay. So I could have 2 teams still, right? 2
Oh, yeah.
teams.
Oh, yeah.
compete? Okay. So I just have to get 2 separate kits for them.
Correct.
Got it.
And you can share a table. The good news is you can share a table, you can share a mat. The kids just have to coordinate, but you
Okay.
don't have to have 2 tables in your room because those take up a lot of room. You can have just 1 table and have 2 teams. I even have some areas where they have 3 teams on 1 table, but they have to schedule carefully in those situations. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I know I talked to somebody that said sometimes like Lego, they'll do, or ASU will do like scholarships, or they'll do programs that we can apply for.
Yeah. We just closed that out, but we gave $50,000 worth of
Wow.
equipment away this year to over 100 teams in Arizona.
Wow.
And we are the custodian, so to speak. Is that the right word of what the donors give us? So we have these fantastic donors like APS and SRP and the Caris Foundation, and they give the money to ASU, and then we are we give out the money. But yes,
Okay.
we were able to do that. We do that. We've spent all our money this year, but we'll do it again next year. And how much I have depends on how much money we receive from our donors.
Okay. And what would the scholarship amount be, like scholarship for a kit, or is that what
We've
teachers
done
would apply for?
we've done everything from just a registration all the way to $1,000 to cover everything. We
Okay.
do it all. It
Okay.
depends
So
on
they'll be
it
looking
depends
for
on
that
the team.
next season?
Yeah.
When typically would that be, like in July or
July.
June?
Yeah,
July.
July.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And would I just go onto the website that you showed me?
So
that
I can do a couple of
information?
different things because I have you now in my contacts. So I can add you to my list of contacts. Let me see how, and I sort of categorize I've got you now as an FLL Challenge
Awesome.
coach. So
Okay.
you'll see some of the emails that I send out, and so you'll get an idea of some of the things that I share with the coaches.
Okay.
The other thing you can do, and this costs nothing, is to go to that first link I just gave you, the www.firstinspires.org.
Yeah.
You go to that website, in the top right, it says register, and register yourself. You can even create a team. Once you get in there, you can create a team. Creating a team costs nothing. But what it does is it puts your email on the radar of First headquarters, and then they send out team blasts and announcements. And so when the new season comes out, you're going to start getting all these emails, and you'll get both emails from First headquarters, and then you'll get the Arizona specific ones from me, and you'll know when things are happening that way.
What would be like a typical season for the younger groups?
Same thing, August 1st.
So it's the same timeline.
Yep.
And not as many events though, correct?
Correct. There's no qualifying events for the Explore Kids. You just go straight to January. And what I'm doing this year, I'm going to have 2 festivals. There'll be one in January and one in April.
Okay.
So if you want to put this on your calendar, if you want to come and take a look at what we do, January 13th and April 13th, Both of them
Oh.
are going to be at the Memorial Union building here in Tempe. They're free events. You just come and see what the students have done.
Okay, so there's just 2 events then for that age group that they
Correct.
go to.
Yeah.
And then
Well, there's
in
also
that-
Worlds. They can go to Worlds. It's a lottery. If you're interested in traveling to Houston, Texas, you put your name in the hat. It's a lottery. We had 2 teams from
Wow.
Arizona traveled in this past April.
Okay.
Traveled to Houston and represented Arizona. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely think working my way up to the to the olders would be good. Great. And so January 13th then is the first. So if I were to do that one, I would have a little bit more time then, right? If I were
So, yeah, if you decided and you say, listen, here's what I want to do, right? And this would make sense. If you wanted to do FLL Explore, so the younger kids, and if you wanted to do that this year, if you're ready on January 13th, great, come join us. But if you're not, I'm doing another one April 13th.
Mhm.
And you can come to that.
Got it.
The difference is that on January 13th, I'm doing both Explore and Challenge on the same day.
Okay.
It's going to be a wild event. April 13th is only FLL Explore.
Okay. And that's all at ASU?
All at ASU on the Tempe campus. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Yes, I'm sure I'll have so many more questions too that come up, but this is good. And basically with my school, it'll kind of be like a lottery because all the kids are going to want to do this.
Yes.
So that's going to be the hard part, but because they all love Lego.
Yeah. That was definitely one of the challenges that I had when I was coaching. You know, students would walk into the classroom all the time and say, "Can I join your club?" thinking it was a club. And there's only so many I can take. There's rules, right? And for Explore, the maximum is 6, not 10. It's 6 for Explore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So yes, the what do I want to say? Finding the students is not the problem, right? Funding is challenging,
Yeah.
but the biggest still money we can find. It's finding the coaches, finding the teachers or the parents or the community members who want to do this.
Right.
That's harder.
And telling the parents like up front, these are the expectations, these are the days, the practices. So if they can't make it, then obviously probably not to join.
Correct.
But
Correct.
Okay. Do you recommend like 2 practices a week or 1 practice a week?
You do what you can.
Okay.
You'll when I started, I went to see a coach that was very, very successful, and I asked him, "What's your secret?" And he said, "Okay, you got a pad of paper?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm ready." And he said,
Yeah.
"Time."
Time,
That was
right?
his entire tip. Time.
Okay.
The more time you spend on this, the better you will do.
Yeah.
But the studies that FIRST have conducted, they have a whole impact. You can even look it up online. Even one season has a huge impact on students choosing to go in and study STEM later on in their educational journey and in their career. It does not take 5, 6, or 10 years of this to have an impact.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, this looks good. Well, with the ASAP program, they're giving us funds this year. So, this could be something definitely to purchase and look into. And then like you said, every year, apply for that scholarship and then I can build on the club and have more students do this.
Exactly.
So, yes, I like it. Well, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to look at the website and really go through that a little bit more. And yes, I will let you know if I have any questions for sure.
Okay. And I'll take this recording and share it with a couple of other coaches that or teachers that are associated with ASAP, and I'll probably share it with Amanda, and then people
Okay.
can watch this and then let me know if they have any other questions. Sound good?
Thank you. That sounds great. I really
Okay.
appreciate it.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
All right,
Take care.
bye.